Good morning students. Today's class is about metabolism of lipids. Till now we have seen the metabolism of carbohydrates. So from today we are going to see about the metabolism of lipids. Lipids in the body mostly exist in the form of triacyl glycerol. 85 to 90% of the lipids are in this form only. So this is the structure of triacyl glycerol. This is the structure of glycerol and three fatty acids R1, R2, R3 are attached to it. These fatty acids which are attached to triacyl glycerol is in reduced form. The fatty acids which are attached to the glycerol are oxidized to give energy. This oxidation we call it as beta oxidation. This oxidation of fatty acids to give energy we call it as beta oxidation. So these lipids are also known as neutral fats. Why? Because these don't possess any charge on it. These are non-polar and these lipids are stored in adipose tissue. These fats are stored in adipose tissue. This lipids not only gives us energy, it also maintains the body temperature. It acts as an insulating material and maintains the body temperature. So why we call these lipids as a fuel reserves of the body? Why? Because these lipids can give 9 calories per gram of energy. These lipids can give 9 calories, whereas carbohydrates, 1 gram of carbohydrates can give only 4 calories of energy. Whereas lipids, 1 gram of lipids can give 9 calories of energy. These are non-polar and hydrophobic in nature, which can be stored in pure form. As these are hydrophobic in nature, it will not bind with any other compound, any other polar compound like water. Okay, whereas carbohydrates and proteins will be combined with the water to store in the body. For example, glycogen, 1 gram of glycogen combines with the 2 grams of water. So to store 1 gram of glycogen, 2 grams of water is required. Whereas to store lipids, there is no need of water. It can be stored in the pure form. So along with this triacyl glycerols, there are also phospholipids, glycolipids and cholesterol in the 10 to 15 percentage. Okay, means the remaining 10 to 15 percentage of lipids are of phospholipids, glycolipids and cholesterol. This cholesterol is a precursor for bile acids and steroid hormones. So how these lipids are transported? These lipids are transported with the help of some proteins. Means these lipids will be combined with the proteins to form lipoproteins. Then it enters into the bloodstream for the transport to various tissues. So lipids are not transported in the form of free lipids. These are transported in the form of lipoproteins in blood to various tissues. So if we observe in blood, these lipoproteins are detectable, but free lipids are not undetectable. Okay, these free lipids are undetectable. So now we will see how the lipids in the body, that is which are stored in the adipose tissue, how it is broken down to give us energy. So to study that, we need to study the triacyl glycerol cycle or fatty acid cycle. Triacyl glycerol, which is stored in the adipose tissue, will be hydrolyzed to free fatty acids. Means here the glycerol content will be removing this fatty acids, will be hydrolyzed here to remove the fatty acids, free fatty acids. Okay, this bond will be broken down to give free fatty acids. Okay, so in the first step, triacyl glycerols in the adipose tissue hydrolyzed to free fatty acids. These free fatty acids combines with the protein, that is albumin, and enters the blood to various tissues. It will be reached. Finally, in these tissues, the fatty acids are oxidized to give energy. Fatty acids are oxidized in the tissues, means from adipose tissue to various tissues. It enters in the form of free fatty acids, and these fatty acids are oxidized to give energy. Now we will discuss about the oxidation of fatty acids, means how these fatty acids are oxidized in various tissues. These fatty acids are not oxidized in all types of tissues except brain, erythrocytes and adrenal medulla. These fatty acids are oxidized in remaining all tissues. This brain and adrenal medulla etc. cannot oxidize these fatty acids to form energy. So, we'll go in detail with the fatty acid oxidation. This fatty acid oxidation, we also call it as beta oxidation. Here, oxidation of fatty acids takes place on beta carbon atom. On beta carbon atom, we will see how this oxidation takes place on beta carbon atom in the cycle in detail. So here, at every beta oxidation process, there is a removal of acetyl-CoA. Means when fatty acid is oxidized, acetyl-CoA will be removed, which is a 2-carbon compound. Acetyl-CoA is a 2-carbon compound which is removed at each cycle of beta oxidation. So when this acetyl-CoA is removed from it, this acetyl-CoA enters into the Krebs cycle. Acetyl-CoA enters into the Krebs cycle after leaving this fatty acid. So coming to the stages of beta oxidation. In 3 stages, this beta oxidation takes place. Activation of fatty acids in cytosol, transport of fatty acids to mitochondrial, and beta oxidation proper in mitochondrial matrix. So these 3 steps occurs in beta oxidation. First step is activation of fatty acid. So this was the fatty acid. R is a long chain which is present here, and this is the last 2 carbons, okay, last 3 carbons. So this fatty acid is first activated to get oxidation. So these fatty acids are activated with the help of the enzyme thiokinase to acyl-CoA in 2 steps. In 2 steps, these fatty acids are activated to acyl-CoA. Okay, so in the presence of ATP and coenzyme A, this fatty acid is converted to acyl-CoA. In the first step, the ATP will be taken up by this fatty acid and it will be forming acyl adenylate. And this acyl adenylate takes coenzyme A and removes this AMP. So this AMP, it gets AMP from ATP. In the first step, if we see, the ATP donates, ATP will be converted to AMP by giving out a pyrophosphate. By giving out pyrophosphate, this ATP will be converted to AMP. This AMP will be connected to this place. Okay, so fatty acids will be converted to acyl adenylate by forming ATP to pyrophosphate, and this acyl adenylate will be converted to acyl-CoA by taking coenzyme A and removing this AMP. In place of AMP, this coenzyme A is bonded, a high energy bond. Okay, so finally in the first step we get acyl-CoA. So this acyl-CoA in the second step is transported to mitochondria. The acyl-CoA formed in the first step is transported to mitochondria. Okay, so actually the mitochondrial membrane is impermeable to fatty acids. This cannot take up fatty acids inside. So these fatty acids, to enter into the mitochondrial matrix, it takes the help of carnitine. It takes the help of carnitine. Fatty acids combines with the carnitine and transported from cytosol to mitochondria. So as it is, the fatty acids cannot enter into the mitochondria. It takes the help of carnitine to enter into the mitochondria from cytosol. As it is taking the help of carnitine, this cycle we call it as a carnitine shuttle. This carnitine shuttle takes place in 4 steps. First step, if we see, the acyl-CoA which is formed in the first step takes the help of carnitine and forms acyl carnitine. This CoA will be removed and carnitine will be attached here. Acyl carnitine plus CoA. So this is the first step. In the second step, acyl carnitine will takes the help of carrier protein. Means the carrier protein is present in the mitochondrial membrane. This is the mitochondrial membrane. The carrier protein is present here. Okay, this is a cytosol and this is a mitochondrial matrix. And this is the membrane. So from the carrier protein, through the carrier protein, the acyl carnitine enters the mitochondrial matrix. Okay, so as it is, the fatty acid cannot enter into the mitochondrial matrix. It takes the help of carnitine. With the help of acyl carnitine, this enters into the mitochondrial matrix, and through carrier protein it enters into the mitochondrial matrix. After entering into the mitochondrial matrix, the acyl carnitine again combines with the CoA. Acyl CoA, it forms acyl CoA and it removes the carnitine. So this CoA will be attached to the acyl, again removing the carnitine out. So till it enters inside the mitochondrial matrix, the carnitine will be attached to the acyl group, and later the carnitine will be removed and CoA will be attached. Here you can see the CoA will be attached. So this carnitine which is left over here again enters into the cytosol. Carnitine will be enters into the cytosol, and this carnitine again helps for the another fatty acid to enter into the mitochondrial matrix. This cycle will be called as carnitine shuttle. So there is an inhibitor of this carnitine shuttle like malonyl CoA, which inhibits the enzyme carnitine acyl transferase 1, which combines carnitine with the acyl carnitine. So this acts as an inhibitor for this carnitine shuttle. If this attachment is not done, this cycle will not be proceeded. Okay, so the first step is catalyzed by the carnitine acyl transferase 1. This enzyme can be inhibited by malonyl CoA. After activation and transportation to mitochondrial matrix, the beta oxidation proper takes place, which is the third step in the beta oxidation. So in this beta oxidation proper, there is a removal of acetyl CoA takes place. At each cycle, one acetyl CoA will be removed. So this beta oxidation proper will be involving 4 reactions. First one is oxidation, second one is hydration, third one is oxidation, and fourth one is cleavage. In the first step of oxidation, the acyl CoA which entered into the mitochondrial matrix will be converted to trans-enoyl CoA by the enzyme acyl CoA dehydrogenase. Here the dehydrogenation process takes place when 2 hydrogens, means like CH2, CH2, CoA is present now. So here 1 hydrogen and 1 hydrogen, 2 hydrogens are removed and added to FAD. So FADH2 will be formed. This can be catalyzed by the enzyme acyl CoA dehydrogenase. So this once formed, the trans-enoyl CoA undergoes the second step, that is hydration. means it takes up water molecule to form beta hydroxyl acyl CoA. This reaction is catalyzed by enoyl CoA hydratase. Okay, after this formation of beta hydroxyl acyl CoA, here the two hydrogens are removed and forms a hydrogen bond between alpha and beta carbons. Okay, so beta hydroxy acyl CoA will be formed by hydrolyzing, means as water molecule is attached, this CH will be forming, means one H2O will be removed as H plus and OH minus. So one H plus will be attached here and OH minus will be attached here. So the structure will be looking like this. Okay, so at beta carbon this CH2 will be attached. Sorry, here CO minus CO. Okay, here also COA. Okay, so in the third step, again the second oxidation takes place. Here the enzyme beta hydroxyl acyl CoA dehydrogenase will be removing two hydrogens again from beta hydroxyl acyl CoA and donates to NAD to form NADH plus H plus. Okay, so this finally forms in the third step beta keto acyl CoA. Beta keto acyl CoA will be formed in the third step. Whereas the fourth step involves the cleavage of beta keto acyl CoA to acyl CoA and acetyl CoA. So at this step if we see the beta carbon will be showing the cleavage and giving out the acetyl CoA, and coenzyme A which is added is attached to the acyl path. So this thiolase enzyme will be cleaving beta keto acyl CoA to acyl CoA and acetyl CoA. So finally this acetyl CoA formed enters into the Krebs cycle to yield energy, and the NADH plus H plus and FADH2 which are formed here will enters into the electron transport chain. This one and this one will be enters into the electron transport chain for further production of ATP. So for example, if we take palmitoyl CoA, which is a fatty acid containing 16 carbons, means here the fatty acid oxidation takes place in 3 steps. So in that 3 steps, the beta oxidation process takes place. So for every beta oxidation proper, there are 16 carbons in the palmitoyl CoA. So for every, it takes about 7 cycles to remove 8 acetyl CoA molecules. So finally this palmitoyl CoA can yield 129 ATPs as a net energy yield. This cycle is for even number containing fatty acids. Means the fatty acids like even number 18 carbon, 16 carbon, 12 carbon. Okay, like that the fatty acids containing even number carbon atoms will be following this type of oxidation of fatty acid. Whereas in the next class we will see the fatty acids, how they are oxidized if it has an odd number of carbon atoms.